Well, I'm sorry that it's stuff. Christmas is happening, but it's weeks away. Dinner is happening. That's probably the closest thing. Schoolwork probably has stuff. Real life is always moving. You're trying to clump everything together, and it shouldn't be. You can always do the cheap thing with the wrapping of the presents. It's next week already. Who did that? Just put it all in a bag. Listen, I understand the wrapping and stuff. We don't even do that anymore. And we stopped doing that, honestly. Give me a second here. Let me save my game in empty slot number one. I know you got little ones, and I know it's fun to watch them open things, but you can always duct tape a gift bag shut. I was mean. They don't. We want to watch them rip open presents, but believe it or not, for them, it's not about ripping the present wrapping off. They're going to have joy no matter what. Whether they have to slice open a box or something along the lines of that, it's not a big deal. And you can put reason on reason on reason on reason, but we do that. I personally suck at rapping. And so when I try, people understood I put stuff into it. But we can't do that to ourselves. I'm not dealing with you, Wednesday. You're a friend. I don't deal with people. I don't even like people. You are here because you are a friend. And you're not really people. Sorry if that offends, but it's just true. I don't like people, but I like you. So obviously you're not people. That's how logic works. You're good people, but you're good whatever you are. Stop overdoing things. Take small bits. Thank you. It's just true. Listen, in life, we stress ourselves out. We put stuff on top and on top, and we think things are. And honestly, if we just wrote it down, everything's got a deadline, and we can do the deadlines in order. This is from somebody, me, who I'm streaming a game while watching my schedule and answering emails and answering phone calls, yelling at the dogs. But it doesn't mean I have to concentrate on one thing. Well, that. I doubt you're a terrible daughter, but I don't know if I ever told you this story. One year, it was either year one or two of being married to Amanda. My mom sent a birthday card, and my mom wasn't trying to be mean, but in the birthday card to my wife, she wrote, "Don't overfeed my granddaughter." And I found that to be very inappropriate. And so I called my mom and told her, "Don't talk to my family until I tell you it's okay." Am I a terrible son? No. I'm a man with boundaries who protects his wife because that's whose side I'm always going to be on. And my kids because my daughter didn't need that. She was young at the time. People always think they're doing the best and they're not. Um, our current state of affairs is one of those things. There's so many people that are not understanding, and so when somebody wants the world to be a certain way, or here in America they want America to be a certain way, and they start voting that way and they start pushing, and the problem is when you as a person try to force somebody else to do something, that might be against whatever their belief system is, you're wrong. You guys know me enough to know if somebody asks me to use certain pronouns, I'll use certain pronouns. But if somebody asks me for pronouns, it doesn't matter to me. And it's probably like a million different things. The friends that I that have the pronouns that are different because they choose them to be different are never mad that people use the wrong pronouns. In fact, in my time, I've realized the only people that care are people who aren't those people. And they start forcing their beliefs onto everyone. I can't tell you how many times people are like, "What are your pronouns?" I don't care. I don't. Just don't. My pronouns are not late for dinner. Trust me. I got that one down pat. But whatever you want to say, I don't care. We have to accept that people are different. And we need to stop forcing people to be the same. And we need to stop making new definitions to words to change things the way we want them to be. As an example, I was in an argument with somebody because I run a surgical unit. And they said it's not fair and it's a really dumb thing to call um, transitioning surgeries, any of them, elective surgeries. No, it's not. And we don't need to change the definition. And I'll explain to you why. Because an urgent or elective surgery, those are your choices, are about if the person can survive. So I'll give you an example. If you're not going to lose your eyeball, you're not going to die. And I don't mean go kill yourself. Sorry if that gets me canceled anywhere, but you don't if without the surgery death would occur because the surgery would save your life, that makes it urgent. If you would lose your eye, that makes it urgent. If you would lose a limb without the surgery at that minute, that's an urgent surgery. If it prevents oncology resection, and if you guys don't speak medical, if if it stops me from correcting cancer later or some kind of cancerous treatment, it goes against it. It makes it urgent. Like not getting the surgery would stop you from having cancer treatment or being able to have the advantage of cancer treatments. That makes it urgent. Everything else is elective. Everything else is elective. Stuff you wouldn't think of. And I'd explain this to people. Hip transplants are elective. Full knee replacements are elective. Broken ankles are not elective. And here's why. Well, certain ones are. But if you break your ankle and without the surgery, you wouldn't be able to use your ankle again, it becomes urgent. Stop letting people make your boundaries. Stop letting people control things, especially in your own life, because it's none of their business. Your mom uninvited you for Christmas because you're a bad daughter. I know you enough to know that that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because I have a daughter who's bad and I've never uninvited her to anything. And she's a terrible daughter. And I still love her and I still support her. And she doesn't, but she could hate me and I would still love her. But going back to the story of my mom, when I told my mom not to talk to my family again until I contacted her, my mom knew when I said that, don't contact until I contact you. And it took 3 years for me to call my mom again and be like, listen, are you going to do that again? She said no. She actually saw what she did. You people who are right are never right now. Does that make sense? People who are right. Let me switch this. Y'all don't need to see that screen. ah, people who are right have time prove them right. I've been in science long enough. I've been doing things long enough. I know when somebody's right, enough time will prove them right. And it doesn't have to be a mean thing. We see that in all aspects of medical because it's a pseudoscience. As I remind the doctors all the time, they practice a science. My degree is actual science. But the truth is I don't understand their pseudoscience. I understand it a little better sometimes than they do. I also know that they need to not lie to me as much, but what I mean by that is how long cases are going to take and we stack them into a day. It has nothing to do with anything you guys have to concern with, because it's really the only lying they do to me. And it's just because they're trying to get more done. My boundary is no. And I've never skipped on that boundary. If it doesn't fit within the time allotted, we'll put it on a different day, but we'll get it done. Urgent cases will go. There'll be no exceptions to that. I don't know. It's just weird that we live in a place of so much appropriation and so much made up belief that people want to jump on it. I recently told a joke, but realized maybe I shouldn't. And my joke is I can prove that the world is flat because the earth is mostly water and it's not carbonated, thus, it is flat. It's a joke. Do you know how many people actually believe that the world is a disc? Like, not joking, not satire. These people are actually trying to use scientific method and every time they're wrong, but they're trying to use scientific method to prove that the world isn't flat or is flat. And it's piss poor boundaries, I think. We're at a time where we let people push us around. Wednesday, I'm telling you this now. Put your foot down and don't let them. Oh no, they uninvited me to Christmas. And that's honestly how you should take it. And I'm not trying to make fun of the situation. I hate people anyway. So if my family was like, oh, we wouldn't want you to come to Christmas, I think my next phrase would be, oh, thank God, because I really didn't want to see you people either. I've never given up on a friend's giving, never uninvited somebody, even friends. People who do that are petty and narcissistic and are trying to control you. And I'm happy you got uninvited because it means you put your foot down on something. And I'm proud of you. Because it doesn't matter what it is. The funny thing is, it doesn't matter if it was right or wrong decision. You made a decision and you stuck to it. I am proud of you. The world doesn't need perfect leaders. It just needs people who make decisions. And I'm not talking about leaders as in governmental stuff either. I don't want to get into that. But leaders in a hospital. The difference between me and one of my managers is I make the decisions. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'll make them. The good thing about me is if one of my managers comes to me and goes, oh, I think that was a wrong decision because X, and X is correct, well, I'm going to recorrect my decision. And I'm going to give them proper due for bringing something up. But the world needs real leaders. That's a real leader. You don't expect people to do stuff that I wouldn't do myself. My administration staff knows that 100%. I don't know. I can go on this rant forever, but the truth is that you're not a bad person because I know you, and I'm a very good judge of character. You, Wednesday, are one of the nicest people. Because of your past, you allow people to get up here. Don't. And about the other stuff, take it easy. Do it one at a time. If baking needs to be done, that I can't think of anything baking wise that you need more than a day to prep for and do. So if it's not tomorrow, you don't need to bake. And if it's a treat, they can wait. I still have stuff on my counter I meant to make 2 weeks ago that I haven't made yet. And you know what? They'll wait because when I make it, it'll be fine. I haven't even made Christmas cookies and I'm just learning it's a week away. And the funny thing is, most of my job is dealing with dates. You're good people, period. Nobody can tell me any different. I can learn anything that you want. But that's the thing. We always dwell on what our past is, who we were. I used to be a terrible human being. If you talk to people in my life when I was 18, in my 20s, and we're like, oh, Dan did this, chances are the story is 100% true. 100% true. I was a terrible kid, a terrible human being. I had to learn to forgive myself because I can't get a time machine and change that. And I've made amends with the people I needed to, at least as much as I could. You got this, Wednesday. Small bites. Take one thing at a time and put the most important thing first. And from the list that you gave me, I would get your schoolwork done if that's due anytime soon. Because you're not going to get a second chance at that unless you're going to do the class over. And that's not second chance, that's taking a whole new class. What else was on that list? I'm scrolling up. Bake, not a big deal. You could do that in between. In fact, in the middle of schoolwork, you're going to need a break. There you go. Real life. We can't control that. It comes as it wants. The cool thing is most people don't understand that if you just let life even out, it'll even out. Just deal with what you have to, separate the urgent from the elective, and figure out what to do from there. Nothing's too hard. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not allow other people to overwhelm you because, I think Garth and I are the same way. Fuck everybody. Schoolwork. Do your schoolwork. In between, if you can get some of the baking prep done, get the baking prep done, but do not hurry. And I know G-Wrath enough that go ahead and put some of the baking on him. He can measure, I'm sure, because he cooks. He'll be fine. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Wednesday. You guys are too cool. Both of you are too nice of people to ever let anybody tell you that you're not. And remember, and I've said this before, I know he makes burgers, but he cooks other things as well. He knows how to measure. He can put things. I didn't say let him bake. I said let him prep. You're going to be okay. One step at a time. What I want you to do is, because I like attention. So go ahead and put me on lurk mode, turn the closed captioning on so you can watch every now and then and do your homework. Or turn the closed captioning off and turn it up so you can hear it and do your homework. And when your homework becomes overwhelming, take a break and do a little bit of prep. And once you're done with that little bit of prep, come back because you have homework to do. And I guarantee you, taking things in little chunks is what's going to make it. And you're going to notice not only will you get it done in time, you'll have some left over. Trust me. I did lots of college. I know. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put the soapbox away because it's full, or I feel like I'm standing.